All right, everybody, right now we've got my man Scottie over here, leader of Team Level Up. I'm Bernard Kisumbing. I run the Empower team, and together we are building something so amazing with Make Wellness, and we want you guys to listen in so that you could be a part of something that builds legacy, helps other people, and makes a huge difference. So, Scottie, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, buckle up. This is going to be the ride of your life. Yeah, so my name's Scottie. I'm first and foremost a father of 5 beautiful children. Been married to my beautiful wife for 20 years. We met at a rock show. I played music for 25 years. So I've always had a love of just inspiring people, moving people through my gifts. And, I started my career and climbing the corporate ladder. And the first 5 years of our marriage, I didn't know my wife. We lived separate lives. I worked 12 to 12 every morning, I worked 5 in the morning to 5 at night, so 12-hour days. She would work evenings from 3 to 11 p.m. So she'd drop the kids off at 3. I'd pick them up when I got off work at 5. And so she'd raise the kids in the day, I'd raise them at night, and that was just challenging. It's not how I saw my life. I don't know about you, but I had big dreams. I wanted to provide a good life for my family. I was willing to work hard. And I never imagined being necessary for my wife to work. It was necessary to just live paycheck to paycheck. So I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Got it. And yeah, I bet there's a bunch of you out there that are trying your best to crush it in your profession and spending hours upon hours to try to build a life and something awesome for your family, at the same time sacrificing your family in the process. And that's a tendency of what happens in the society, right? Because we're in a rat race. Most of us are literally living on a hamster wheel, doing the same things over and over again, looking for a way out. Well, talk to them about your way out.
Yeah. So when I was in that grind, I was willing to work as hard as I could to provide for my family. 12-hour days. I'd go in every Saturday. Machines would break down, and I'd be after a 12-hour shift, I'll run it through the night, because it meant more overtime, but it was sacrificing family time. And I remember I would drive home from work exhausted, and I would drive by and I would see, I'm not a very materialistic person, but I would see someone with a camp trailer or an RV or ATVs or snowmobiles. I'd be like, how the heck do they pay for their house and those things? I can barely survive as it is working all these hours. So for me, it came simple, like God's answer to my prayer in a way. A guy knocked on my door, literally, trying to bring my wife and I back to church. That's how I found my first business. And no, he wasn't starting a business. Can I start that? Will you edit that?
Nope.
Oh, dang it.
I'm keeping everything, including this sound of me shaking my yummy Energized.
So he knocked on the door and I let him in because he had a plate of brownies. I was like, you got some brownies? Come on in, dude. And this guy was just jacked. He was like you, man. His biceps were just bulging, and I hadn't worked out since I was in high school. And so I gained, as my wife got pregnant and had our first kids, I gained the weight with her. I was just not confident. I was overweight. And I was like, dude, how does this guy look so jacked? He told me he had 2 little girls. We were the same age. I had 2 little girls. And I'm like, dude, what do you do to look like that? And I think it's special what he did, because he said, let me help you. I'll teach you what I eat. He's like, he trained the high school kids, trained them, and he's like, hey, come work out at the gym with me. And I trained the high school kids, we'll teach you everything we know. And I was like, well, you don't know this story, but I was like, well, I would love to, but I go to work at 5. They trained at 6. And he's like, oh, you should do this home workout program. So I did the home workout program. I didn't have any weights. Guess what this dude did? He gifted me a 50-pound pair of Select Tech dumbbells for free. Gave them to me, got me some DVDs, do this program. I lost 38 pounds. And by the way, he wasn't bringing me into a business. He was trying to bring me back to church. But he was just fit. And
that's powerful.
Yeah. Long story short, we came back to church, and
Nice.
We've been going to church every Sunday since that. So it's kind of God's timing in a way, because he brought me to church.
Kind of? What are you talking about, kind of? That's
I started taking
definitive.
care of my health and vitality, nutrition, workouts for the first time. Started going to church with my family, dropped some addictions, and we've been going to church now for 15 and a half years because of him. But that also, doing that transformation gave me the confidence to go help the next person, just like he helped
Are
me.
we able to shout out this guy's name?
Oh yeah, Colby Knight.
Bro, Kobe Knight, just want to say thank you, man, because if it wasn't for you, there's a lot of people in this house right now that wouldn't know Scottie.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have been impacted by Scottie. So shout out to Kobe Knight. That's actually a super dope name, too.
That's a cool.
Jeez.
That's a cool realization too, to know that you never know the difference you're making when you're just out serving.
Right.
Like, so in our church, we have callings, and his calling was a ward missionary. Like, he was like trying to bring people back to church that had gone inactive, and he did that, but it changed the trajectory of my entire life. So I found out that I could share those products with people, and like I said, I used to drive home from work and be like, how are these people doing like so well, and they're not working 12 hours a day like me? I'm like, there's got to be something else. And then I found out that I could be an affiliate with the company and share the products. And my big goal, my big dream was to earn $10,000. Because if I could make $10,000, my wife made like $13,000 a year working for the Hilton. That number sounds funny now because it was back in 2010. But she made $13,000 a year. And I was like, man, if I could just make $10,000, she won't have to work nights. So I was still willing. I'll work 12-hour days. But if I could just bring her home from work, like we could sit down and eat dinner together as a family when I get home from work. We could, take the kids for a walk, kick soccer balls in the front yard. And that was my big dream, because it was like we didn't live that. We lived these separate lives for the first 5 years of our marriage.
I can confirm on that one, man. Like,
So-
car business for me, crushing it in the car business, but spending anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week in the car business. So our marriage, me and Jamie were literally living two separate lives, going after two separate dreams, following two separate jobs and two separate goals. And that wedge gets bigger and bigger, right? Like, if you're not intentional about breaking down that wedge and actually creating the phenomenal relationship that you want, then the drift is going to happen naturally, right?
Yeah.
It takes intentional work to come together. And so then talk to us about the transition from, working 12-hour days. Like, that's a lot of hours, right? And then to come home and your wife's at work. It's not even to come home and then good, she's there. We're talking 12-hour days, and then to come home and not even be able to spend the time with the love of your life. So talk to me about that. What caused the transition? What caused the shift?
Yeah, so I found out I could be this affiliate, and I didn't believe it was possible for me. I
That
was like,
belief.
that's cool. You met Lindsay Matway. She's the one that brought me into that business.
Yeah.
And
Wait, she didn't convince you like that? That girl.
nope, it took me 9 months for me to watch from the sidelines before I even enrolled for free. And I was like,
She's like poster child of awesome.
I was like, she looks like a Barbie. Like, it's obvious why people would
Yes, she
click
does.
on her YouTube video and buy products from her. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm shy, quiet, introverted. I had all the excuses. I'm too busy, working 12-hour days. Just not me. Like, I'm a college dropout. I had all the excuses in the world. But I watched for 9 months. I watched how she did it. There's also something else you don't know. I got a copy. That's why I love doing voice text when I'm doing business. I got copy and pasted scripts that were identical from multiple people to join that business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why I like voice texting, so you're personal with people. And I was like, I'm never doing that. Whatever that thing is, like, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, nice.
But I had found Lindsay. We had a conversation. But the thing about Lindsay, so that you know, is I watched her video. She didn't reach out to me. I watched her video, and I was like, you lost 30 pounds. Her video's like, I lost 30 pounds. I asked the company if I could be an affiliate. They enrolled me, like, in their program. And she's like, I've run my own business called the Bombshell Bartenders. And Billy and I were not married. We had our first child, London, and she was born prematurely. And we incurred a few $100,000 worth of debt.
Oof.
And she's like, I found out I could be an affiliate for this program. I started helping people get results like I got.
Wow.
I was able to walk away from bartending, and I'm home present with my newborn that had all these complications. And I'm slowly paying off this debt. That hit me. I was like, well, on a couple of levels, I was like, man, my house is a few $100,000, and that's why I'm working 12 hours a day. I want to be more present with my family like you're doing. And so I reached out to her, and this is 9 months before I enrolled. And I called her, and she just asked about my life. She's like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for work? And I was like, well, I'm working in a steel factory. She's like, is that what you always want to do? I was like, no.
Oh, that's so good. Is that what you always wanted to do?
I was working as a dental
lab.
lab technician, and I was like, we had my first daughter, and I was only making $11 an hour, and we had Medicare and WIC to help us out. We were living in my brother-in-law's basement, and I was like, I asked for a raise, and after 2 years, he told me I wasn't worth it yet. So I walked away, moved back to Idaho, into my parents' house with my 3-month-old baby and my wife, and I went back to work where I worked in high school. He offered me $9.50 an hour and told me I could work. He knew I was a hard worker. He said, "You can work. We have all the work you need. Like, you can work as many hours as you need to." That's where it went into 5 years of. I just started working 12-hour days, and I never stopped. And so, I was on that path, and that journey, and so that conversation with Lindsay, it took 8 months for me to get to the point of joining. And the reason is because in that conversation, when she asked, is that what you always want to do? I was like, no. So she asked me some hard questions about my life. I was like, no, this is not what I want to be doing with my life. And so I just watched her, and she's like, you should do, I was doing the workouts, and she's like, you should do it. You should be an affiliate. You're doing exactly what I'm doing. You're just not getting paid for it. And I was like, but I just had all these limiting beliefs. I was like, if someone asks me about it, I'll just send them your way.
You did that? I get a couple of people doing that too.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm like, if you're really not gonna do it, yes, please send them my way. But watch, 6 months from now, you're gonna be like, I wish I would have just started then.
Yes. And that's the thing. People always like, when did you start? And I'm like, man, 9 months after I should have started. Like, when did you sign up? When did you start? 9 months after I should have is what always was my first response. And what happened? So what's the shift there?
Hold on, real quick. That doesn't mean wait 9 months to start. Just because he's absolutely a crusher now doesn't mean wait 9 months to start. He could have done this 9 months earlier. That's all that means.
I should have started 9 months earlier.
Yeah.
So like 9 months after I should have started is always the response. So but the thing is, I continued to watch, like from the sideline. I watched what she was doing, and just over the course of 9 months, I saw her show up, teach, add value, share transformations, and just slowly by slowly, I started to believe like I could probably do what she's doing. Like I just watched what she did. I could emulate that. I could do that. I could do it in a way that felt good to me, where I don't feel like I'm like chasing people down, like I'm attracting people. Like she attracted me to her YouTube channel. And then April 11th came. You know about April 11th? April 11th, 18 days after my third daughter was born.
Okay.
And I have this habit, I still do it today. I only pick up my mail once a week.
Okay.
And I would grab it on my way to work before 5 a.m., pick it up. We have a lockbox, so I'd drive, pick it up, put it in my car, in my little lunchbox I had. I'd drive to work. I always got there a little early. I'm the get there early, leave there late guy. And I'd sit down in my office where I wrote manuals first thing in the morning. And I had a spreadsheet on my computer there. And before I started working, I would do my bill, throw the junk mail in the garbage, do my bills, do my little spreadsheet, write the checks. I ran the shipping department too, so I just throw them to go out with the shipping stuff. And that day was the hospital bill, doctor bill, anesthesiologist bill. There was an ear doctor bill, my Blue Cross statement saying everything they paid and what I owed. And it was about $3,000, and we're already paycheck to paycheck. And I sat in that cubicle, and I felt like the heaviest weight was on my shoulder. Like I just felt like the world was crushing me. I felt like my cubicle was spinning around. And I was just like, do I need to go back to college because I dropped out? I was like, do I need to get a second full-time job? Just all these questions. And then I just felt or heard in my soul, just be an affiliate. Just go build the business. It's something for you to do. You don't have to go to school and get more debt. You don't have to spend more time away from your family. And I had some poor habits, not the worst, but I was like playing Call of Duty every single night while my wife was at work after I put the girls to bed. Like use that time to build a business. And so that's the day it's old school, 2011. I faxed in my application to be an affiliate. And that's the day that I started.
Nice.
And so that's how that transition. And the thing about me is like, I I knew from the first day that I would excel at it, that I would be one of the best. Like I started a blog. So I have a blog. I still have a blog, YouTube, Facebook. Now
So
I
you
use
did the
Instagram.
work.
Yeah, but I only had 229 friends on Facebook when I started that.
Okay,
business.
so no big following.
No Instagram.
For
a
everybody
blog.
out there that doesn't have a big following, you can start from there. Go
Yeah,
on.
Just started from there, and I hopped on every training call, and like sometimes my wife would be at work, so I'd be like bathing, like burping kids and changing diapers while I put it up on the TV with my laptop plugged in, and I would just listen to the team calls and the training calls. One thing that's actually pretty funny thinking back now that I haven't thought about in a long time, back then you could log into your office and there was MP3s of every call, every weekly call, which would be like our Monday Masterminds. And I went and downloaded them all to my cell phone. I had an MP3 player, Nokia little phone. So I downloaded them and I would just listen to them during my 12-hour shift.
Oh, wow.
And one time they were talking about a promotion. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to freaking win, because I was a go-getter. I'm going to win this promotion. And I went to the team and I was like, who's going to win this promotion? Like, let's go after this promotion. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what promotion? I was like, oh, I'm the Monday call. And they're like, there's no promotion. I went, look, it was like 8 months earlier, because I downloaded
that's hilarious.
every single training call, and I went back and listened to years of training calls.
That's hilarious.
But that's how committed I was to listening to the people that were successful, learning their tips, and then going after it. So I did that. I listened to the book Think and Grow Rich. I downloaded them to my MP3 player phone. Think and Grow Rich, Millionaire Next Door, and a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And I listened to them each 60 times in my first year of building the business. I blocked out the time, like I would get home from work.
Hold on. We got to do a timeout here because, guys, there's a lot of stuff that obviously Scottie put into it, right? But the truth is, we've got to take a look at where he actually started from, because there's a lot of you out there that's like, I can't do all that. I can't just jump into all of that. The truth is, how many people here that are listening actually feel like they are too busy? I can't do that. I can't jump into that. I've got so much on my plate already. I am too busy. You heard him, 12-hour shifts. There is no such thing as too busy. You can always make time. If you prioritize anything enough, you can always make time. I'll tell you right now, if you put an audit on your time management, a lot of the people that say they are too busy are either playing too much Call of Duty or binging on Netflix, or do yourself a favor. Actually look at the time that you spend on your screen. Like really do a real check up from the neck up and see how much time you actually think you don't have, that you're just wasting on something that won't give you any kind of optimal advantage to your life. It's actually just deteriorating your life, taking away from your life, when you could be using that time to build something so amazing. So now a lot of you are listening, affiliate this, affiliate that. Well, a lot of the questions that come in, is this an MLM? I want you to talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I have a little booger in my throat. Anyway, all right, so a lot of times they ask, is this an MLM, right? Because it's an affiliate. First and foremost, MLMs have made so many people so wealthy.
Yeah.
But I want them to understand your trajectory, what you were able to build, how many people's lives you were able to impact. Yeah. Talk to me about that.
Beautiful. Yeah, so I had the fortunate blessing of when I started, of loving the products, believing in them, and something for you to know also, like when I joined, I loved the workouts, but I hadn't tried the product yet. I didn't feel like I could afford it, and I never had tried the supplements, but I listened to all the calls. I was trading on them. I knew of the benefits of them, and I was so excited to be able to try them. So when I enrolled, I paid a $40 fee to join that business. And I started talking about my excitement of the business. I already loved the products. I did them for a year, the workouts for a year. And I talked about, I'm so excited to try this supplement. And so as I started, I sold some DVDs. I sold some of the product even before I even tried it.
Right.
And then I used those commissions and then went and bought my product. So that's how I started. I was like, I'm going to reinvest in my business, get my own products, and then continue my transformation with that. So I did that. So I didn't even know what a network marketing or MLM was. I loved the product, and I knew that if I shared it with someone, I could make a commission. And here's the cool thing is like, I started a blog, a YouTube channel, all these things. I signed up to be an Amazon affiliate, and I had a pull-up bar that I bought from there that I used. I had some bands that I used. I had I used this weight gainer protein, and I could get an affiliate link, and I sold like 30 things on Amazon in that 9 months where I'm like, I'm not going to sign up for that thing, like that coach thing. I don't have time to do that, but I signed up and started blogging and sharing like pull-up bar and like what I loved about it and stuff. I sold like 30 products. I never got paid because you had to hit a $50 commission threshold, and my commission was like 1%.
Oh, no.
It goes up to like, you can get like 3 or 4% on some things now on Amazon because I'm still an affiliate with Amazon. But I didn't even sell enough like I sold 30 products and never got a commission sent to me at that time because you had to hit $50 in commission, then they'd send you a check. So when I started,
keep going,
and I shared the products, and my first commission was like $30, and I was like, what? $30? This is crazy. I was like, this is mind blowing to me. I sold some P90X DVDs,
right?
And I was like, I made a $30 commission. And I was like, dude, this is a game changer. I sold like 30 things on Amazon, didn't make anything. So I fell in love. I saw hope. I saw a light. I was like, oh my gosh, I made $30. Like $30 is game changing when you're working every hour that you possibly can. Like that's a tank of gas in my little car.
Right.
And so it was crazy. I remember one time, so I started building this business. I remember I had a $300 a week paycheck that I earned from that company. And I was like, my life
it's over.
It's
over. It's the beginning.
That's matching what my wife I'm like, dude, my wife doesn't have to work 8 hours a night.
Yep. It's the beginning of the
I
end.
had the
right
chills.
there.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is life changing. So I went about it, and here's the thing. I just studied what the successful people were doing. I asked them questions. I went to events, and you don't know this story, but
Go to events. Listen to that. I mean, the kind of proximity that you have to that kind of power is just phenomenal.
Here's something happened with that. I was like, here's a moment you haven't heard before. I'm listening to these calls. I'm watching what the team's doing, and they are on a cruise ship, like 3,000 of them. And I was sitting in my cubicle, and I was so mad. I was like pissed off. I was like, there's no way that all those people are harder working than me. Like I should be on that cruise ship, not sitting here in this cubicle. So I texted my mentor in the business, like, how do I go on that? Like, what is that and how do I go? She's like, next one, we're going to Atlantis. And she's like, you need to, this is powerful. She's like, you need to bring on 5 new customers or affiliates every single month on like $200 worth of product. And I'm like, done. And she's like, you need to do that 9 out of 12 months. That's how you would qualify for the trip. When did I sign up as an affiliate? April 11th.
Oh, geez.
How many months does that give me, including April? 9 months. So I had to hit it that month. And so I was like, it's done. I'll do it. Here's the thing I want you guys to understand. I made a commitment that my standard is bringing on 5 people a month. I was going to earn the trip no matter what. I'll do whatever it took. But doing that, it set the standard for me. And I went on to be, for 15 years in that company, I never brought in less than 5 new customers a month on at least $200 worth of product. Nice. So consecutive months, never missed it over the course of 14 and a half years. So the thing is, work 12-hour shift, like my lunch break, I would do phone calls with prospects, with my customers, with people who are interested in joining my team. I would get home, I'd be with my girls, taking care of the 3 little girls. Remember, imagine coming home from a 12-hour work shift, then you're with a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 6-week-old. You're tired from work, you're doing that, and then I would put them to bed, and then they don't go to bed as fast as you want, so you get them to sleep, and then you work on your business. And I did that 7 days a week, 8:30 to 10:30. My wife would have like 2 nights a week off. And so on those nights, I would just work like an hour that night, and then we'd watch a movie. But just putting that level of belief, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to earn the trip. I'm going to bring 5 people a month to my business. Just having that level of goals and commitment, and then doing the work 7 days a week on inviting people, sharing my story, following up with people, helping them when they join the team. At the end of that year, my goal,
real quick,
was it, 10,000?
Hold on, let me pause there real quick, because one thing that he talks about is he had the belief right? And then he did the work. Those two are such a huge combination for anything that you actually put effort into. Because without the belief, it's really hard. Now, you're like, well, I'm so insecure, I don't have that belief. I don't have that belief. I don't sit there and go, everything I do, I'm gonna crush. Like, some people do have that within them. The beautiful thing about a community like this is that if you don't have enough belief, I promise you, he's got enough belief, I've got enough belief. These are things where we are more than welcome to share that belief, right? And you've heard the phrase, borrow my belief. Borrow my belief. Because I promise you, with enough people believing in you, you will know what it feels like, and you will be able to replicate it for yourself. And then you'll start doing the work that it actually takes to start building that belief, right? Because confidence is built by consistent actions. And the results that come from that, that's what actually builds true confidence. The other one is just hubris. Confidence is built by your consistency and the actions that you take. And then the closes and the wins and the progress, those are the ones that build that confidence that can't be shaken. Because if anybody ever tries to test your confidence, you could literally look in the mirror and be like, I did that. I worked through all of my crap and I put in the work to do that. And that's where confidence is truly built. So go on, shift it in.
Well, speaking of that, I didn't tell my wife I signed up. I paid $40. That's what I love about the business we're in now. There's no enrollment fee.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I had to pay $40. So I had to go home and tell my wife, hey, I spent $40 to do this business. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, do you believe I can do this? I told her.
Oh.
She said, I don't know about that, but I believe in you. So I borrowed her belief.
Enough. Yep, that's more than enough.
And I was like, I'm going to make this happen. And yeah, so my goal was 10,000 for that year. The power of setting a goal and putting out into the universe what you're going to accomplish. My 1099 from that company at the end of the year was $10,800.
Yeah,
that crazy. So
the type of visions that this man plays into his life or creates into his life, it's actually something that we're going to be doing at this event today is we're going to do a vision workshop, because vision matters. If you don't know where you're going or where you're headed, you are going to drift. This is the truth with anything that you do in life, with anywhere that you're trying to go. If I don't give you GPS coordinates or an address to go to, and I'm like, hey, meet me there, you're like, what are you talking about? Where? But if I tell you the exact address of where it is that you're going, or I give you a landmark that you could reach, it doesn't matter what obstacles come your way, how many roads are closed, how many times GPS needs to recalculate. If you just keep going, you will get there. So talk about what there actually looked like then. So you hit your 10,000. So what happened?
yeah, so I hit my 10,000. But the way this business works is it's the compounding effect of the work obviously you do, but then you pour into other people, and then they start to change their life, and they start to help other people, and then they start to help other people, and they earn. And so, although it was 10, that looks like earning $49 this week. The next week, $150. The next week, $22. The next week, in the beginning. So all of those numbers over the course of those 9 months added up to 10,800. But at my 14th month, so a few months after that, my consistent weekly paycheck was at $2,000 a week, and then grew from there. By year. And at that point, 14 months in, my wife and I both left our jobs and have done this full time.
14 months.
So
do you hear that? Hold on. Hold on. Do you hear that? Like this, 14 months. Yes, is it going to be hard work? Yes, but the work is simplified. The systems are simplified. If you just take the time to put in a little bit of hard work and really dive into something, the systems are already created for you. The logistics, the infrastructure, phenomenal. All you have to do is follow the steps, show up at the calls, show up at the events, really invest in your time. Think about it this way. At your current job right now, if you are for the next 14 months, what changes for you? Will you have more time 14 months from now with your family? Will you make more money? And I'm not talking about a little puny raise. Will you be able to travel and meet amazing new people that you get to link arms with and grow with? And then will you have the impact where you're actually changing other people's lives in the process while changing your own? If you do, then Google. Keep going that path. If you're not, and you're going to be stuck in the same place next year, like Hannah was saying all day, hey, look, if you're stuck in the same place next year, think about that. Like really, really think about that. And then for the people that are crushing it in life, right? If there's a piece that's missing, hey, look, this might have the gap filler. Pick up the phone, DM us, talk to us.
Yeah.
Ask us questions. We'd love to answer them. But go on. So 14 months later.
Yeah. We're at 6 figures for the first time. Never thought that was possible for me in the beginning. So maybe you don't have belief. You were mentioning that a little bit ago. I knew I was a hard worker. I knew that I could follow through with things, but I didn't believe it was possible for me to earn like some of those people were earning or build teams like they were.
That's the crazy part.
But I listened to those books 60 times. So instead of like a lot of people these days are just scrolling mindlessly TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and their minds being filled with wars and all sorts of crap and negativity that's what you're filling your mind with. So there is lots of doubts and fears and the world's going to whatever they think. But my mind was just filled with, I could be the millionaire next door. You know, I could build like wealth. The compound effect of if I believed and I took the actions and I stayed consistent, that the success was inevitable. So it just became so ingrained in me that it created a new identity in me. Like I'm a whole different person because of that personal development. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to read 5 minutes a day. No, it was like I list the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is 10 hours and 55 minutes long on YouTube for free. And so on a 12-hour shift, how many times can you listen to Think and Grow Rich? Once, like in a day. So you'd be like, I don't have time to read books. Like I listen to it every single day. So that completely changed my mind or my belief. Now, 14 months, my wife and I both walked away from our jobs. And I just continued to set bigger goals and visions because I was like, wow, if we can create that, maybe we could do something else. But here's a story you don't know. I earned that trip to the Bahamas.
Nice.
And I was one of the reasons that I wanted to earn that trip too was we went on a honeymoon, but it wasn't like the ideal dream honeymoon that I imagined giving my wife.
Right.
So she worked for the Hilton. So we got like $29 a night Hilton hotel rooms. And Hilton's a great hotel.
Yeah.
But we had $500 cash. We booked our flight. I booked our flights. I booked 3 nights in Florida. So West Palm Beach, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale in 3 different locations. I rented a car at the cheapest place I could find online because very limited money. And I booked that. And we fly in for our honeymoon the day after we get married. It's July 30th. Hot in Miami in July. We get this taxi, like it's not a taxi, but it's a car for the rental place. Drives us to the place. It's not the rental place not the car rental place at the airport. It's like 5 miles away. We drive into this hood, and we get dropped off. We go in there, and they won't give me the car because I don't have a credit card. I didn't own a credit card.
Oh, geez.
I call my dad. Dad, we can't get our car. Can we use your credit card? And I'm on the phone with him, and they're like, "Oh, we can use my dad's card." He's like, "We can't use someone's card over the phone. We need to see your ID with the card." And so we have our suitcases. Gabby, we call it the sad walk. Still to this day, we leave just walking through the ghetto. It's like underpasses. We're walking looking for somewhere to stay. We can't make it to Fort Lauderdale. So we walk, and we have $500 cash. We find a hotel room for $190. And we bought it with cash, and it just smelled like smoke, like so bad. We made the best of it. We went out and had some amazing street food, some Latino street food.
Oh yeah, you can't beat
that. And that was fun. And we woke up. I opened the window, the curtains, because we were at night, and there was a car lot. It said, "We rent cars." And so we walk over there. We're like, "Hey, told them our story. We came with $500. We only have $300 left because we already paid online for our other hotels."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "We have $300 cash back." I can't remember how much they had us give them, but it was only like $30 a day to rent their car or something. We gave them something like $150 in cash. Took off with the car, went to our first hotel, and so that's what our honeymoon was like. So
how long ago was this?
When we got married, so 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh,
summer.
they would not do that now. You know how many cars get stolen from car rental places?
Yeah. So that was a long story to tell you, like when that 5-star Atlantis resort retreat was I could earn that for 2. I was like, I'm taking her to that. Like, I'm going to earn that thing.
And you made it there.
Yeah, so we made it there.
Boom.
But the thing is like 12-hour days, taking care of 3 little girls. I didn't want to work my business every single night, but I was committed to bringing her home from work, earning that $10,000, and giving her that trip that would be like the real honeymoon finally. So yeah, so we did that. That's kind of how that story started. We just continued building from there. We left our jobs. That gave me more time and energy to pour into building a team, growing my skills. I would go to conferences. I went to High Performance Academy, Experts Academy with a mentor that I looked up to. So I went to all these things to learn and to grow. And by year 4, we had our first $1 million in commission a year, 1099 from the company. So we made $1 million a year.
So in 4 years, hold on. 4 years. 4 years. What did you do 4 years ago that's different from what you're doing now? And don't you wish you would have started 4 years ago? Think about that. Because in 4 years from now, would you like to be in the same place you are now? 4 years now. So we're talking about 1 year goals. We're talking about your 3 to 5 year goals, or in this case, your 4 year goals. Would you love to make $1 million a year? Because the truth is, it's very, very, very possible. A lot of times we're just limited to our level of awareness, thinking, hey, that's not for me. That's not possible for me. That's for those people. Must be nice, right? But that's because those people did what must be done. For you to have the what must be nice, you have to actually do what must be done. And some of the things that are opportunities for you to jump into are situations like this, right? And there's a lot of them out there. So how do you choose which one? How do you choose which one? And that's what I want to go into, you know what I mean? On why would you choose a place like Make?
Why would you choose Make? So I came upon a situation in my life where I had to make a pivot. I was forced to make a pivot.
Right.
So that business I built, I built it to a team of 45,000 people across the U.S., Canada, France, UK. And I started with 229 friends on Facebook and no skills in that. But I leaned in, learned, invested in myself. So we built that, and then out of nowhere, on September 30th of 2024, that business just took everything out from under us. Okay?
Well, real quick, before that harsh part, talk to me about how many years you had $1 million business.
Yeah, so that was at 2014, and then I'd continue growing that all the way until 2024.
So 10 years with $1 million commissions. Do me a favor too, because it's not just about him, right? The beautiful thing about this man is he doesn't just care about him. How many people's lives did you impact? And we were talking, how many people did you turn into six-figure earners first?
Just over 60. So 60 people.
60 people.
And that's
making
awesome. 6
figures and up, right? And then what else?
And then 5 who earned $1 million a year.
And then 5 people who became $1 million earners.
I can't even count the amount of people that earned 10,000 to 50,000, 60,000 in that team of 45,000.
Right, and for you, it could just be an additional 2 to 3, 4,000. I mean, think about that. For some of you right now that are struggling paycheck to paycheck, how much of a difference would $2,000 a month extra landing in your bank account, and what they pay every day? They're not even, you don't even have to wait for this paycheck. You get your commission
Daily
like the
pay.
Same day. Is it the same day or is it a day after?
Same day. Well, yeah, a day after. It's like day.
Yeah, a day after. Okay, sometimes it might be same day actually, but day after. Like imagine you do your work today and then you get your commission the next day. Like that's how crazy this is. They don't hold back your money. You don't have to wait for it. You don't gotta wait till 2 weeks from now. You do the work, you get paid. Imagine what $2,000 to $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month additional income that compounds all of a sudden does for your life. So, okay, so then you have to pivot.
You say those numbers, I'm like $2,000 a month. That's so simple.
Yeah, I know.
If you do what I tell you to do.
Right. That's the easy part.
But that's the thing. That's so game changing in 99% of
I know
American
people right
households.
now that would be in tears to have an additional $2,000.
500 extra a week. Yeah.
And for me, if I'm somebody that's impacting that person's life, that puts me to tears.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the best part.
Yeah. And that's so there's certain people that I think about every time I say that. There's certain people that I pray about every time I say that. And man, it's going to be so good when it just
Beautiful. It's a beautiful work.
clicks.
This is a business where you get to make a difference in people's lives and be significant in the lives of others and build your legacy at the same time. This is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So one thing we need to talk about or mention, obviously, no income is guaranteed in this business.
Goodness.
It's all on your own effort, diligence, and skills. But we give you all the tools, trainings, the best products in the world. Like for me, when I had to make a pivot. It's all about God's timing. I feel like I always say it's like God's fingerprints were on every part of this because I have a podcast just like what we're doing right here, and I had this guy on my podcast named Justin Prince because I started to see him pop up all over social media on other people's podcasts. Like, who is this guy? Found out he was the top earner in the world in direct sales, earning like $12 million a year. And so I'm like, I got to interview this guy. I got to surround myself with this guy, and I have a mutual friend that I saw go to his house. I saw a post on social media. And so I messaged Justin Prince. I was like, dude, my friend was at your house. And I was like, you know who I am? Nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, nice to meet you, bro. And he's like, he invited me. He's like, want to hop on a phone call? And I was like, sure. I hopped on a phone call with him. He asked about what we were doing. I asked him about stuff he was doing. And I was like, man, can I have you on my podcast? He's like, yeah, let's do it. So I had him on my podcast. In I think it was March or April. I have to look at the exact date of 2024. And so he told me that he was doing this thing. I just interviewed him, asked lots of questions. So I can't remember if we talked about it in that podcast. I don't think we did, but I knew that he was launching a peptide company.
Nice.
And so I didn't really look into it because I would have had to voluntarily give away my whole business to be able to come build a business with him. And I was like, $1 million a year, like just give that up and start over. In my state, it wasn't in my mind to go do that. I loved helping people with workouts and meal plans, and I was like, that's awesome. He's gonna crush it with that. Like that'd be nice, but I'm in my lane right now. And then when everything happened, it felt like the end of the world. Like when I lost my whole business, I didn't even think about Justin Prince or the peptides. I was just thinking about what do I do with the rest of my life? Like crying, I cried. I didn't sleep for 2 days. And I'm like, I've done this full time for 14 years, 15 years doing it in total time. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life. We were building our dream house, and my dream house was easily affordable with the income we had from our former business, but that was taken away. Right. So we made the hard decision to sell our dream home. So I wasn't thinking about what do I do for work right now. I was thinking, how do I get this debt, this unnecessary dream home and debt out from under me. And so made the decision to sell it, found a couple buyers, and we're building a house in Park City too. And that house is for sale right now for $1.9 million. So I had two
dream homes.
Beautiful homes.
Two dream homes.
Being built, and now zero income from that. But this could be a whole nother podcast, but we invested wisely and we have Airbnb properties that are paid for. And so we're okay.
We should
can
do
survive.
One of those podcasts.
We can survive.
In a 2012 Tundra.
And we lived beneath our means for 14 years before we built the dream house. So it wasn't horrible. It was just I'll just sell these, take my 20% I have into both these properties, and then I'll just live. My home's paid for. I'll just live for the next 20 years off of this money that's into these house. Just live a modest life. My home's paid for. And then I'll pull out my retirement money that I religiously have put into for 30 years and at 59 with no fees, and I'm set for life. So I was in a place where I literally could have just sold the dream home, sold the Park City Airbnb rental I was building, and I could have just retired. And I was 43 when that happened. But I just felt
retiring at 43. But he wasn't done yet. He wasn't done impacting people's lives yet.
I got on the phone with Justin Prince. I told him that. I'm like, I don't think I want to do anything. I think that's awesome. And he's like, he told me your best days are ahead of you, bro.
Oh, yo, Justin Prince with the words.
He's like, everything you've done has led you up to this point, and you're going to help us build $1 billion company. And I didn't understand peptides that much. I'd heard them.
Right.
And he's like, just look at what we've done. Look at the research. This will be the best product on the market. Come help us build $1 billion company. And I was like, ooh, look at it. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's do it. But there was two very important questions for me. If I was going, I had spent 15 years building a brand of helping people get results with meal plans and workouts and supplements.
Right.
And so we didn't have products out yet. And so they were going to ship in about a month from that conversation. And I was like, bro, this can't be fake. This has to be real.
Right.
I was like, I cannot put my reputation, if I ever want to work again in the online space, like I can't go sell a product that's just like whipped together in someone's backyard and like marketed good.
I used to sell those products.
Yeah, and I was like, it has to be legit because I don't want to harm my own health.
Right.
And I don't want to go sell something and say this is the next greatest thing and ruin my reputation if it's not. And so he talked to me about how there was 15 years of research with AI technology and $135 million put into that AI technology. And I was like, oh, this has like been in the works for a long time. So I looked at the research, the science, got on the phone with some other friends that are like metabolism specialists, functional medicine doctors. I was like, I don't understand these research papers. Can you look at this? And they're like, oh yeah, this triggers it. This is like, and I remember one of them being like, what, this lean peptide, 100% of the fat loss comes from, of weight loss comes from fat. He's like, that's unheard of for a peptide. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I would get behind this. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So that's where that pivot happened. And I was like, I'm all in on this. I'm gonna go help people with this. And it's been absolutely game changing in my own health.
Right.
This is like the first thing.
Just a heads up, people out there that have not yet heard of peptides, you're living under a rock, first and foremost, if you haven't heard it, because it's everywhere right now. But if you haven't taken the time to actually dive into it and find out more about it, make sure to DM us.
Yeah.
Hit us up, ask questions. And the truth is, 2026 to the foreseeable future until something else comes up that's going to support this, just like it was when supplements came out, it's not going to be a meal plan. It's not going to be supplements. It's not going to be the next workout routine or anything like that. The new standard is going to be in your recovery and the communication that's happening inside your body. And peptides is not just a fad. It is the absolute answer. So make sure to get yourselves informed, educated about it so that you could take your life to the next level.
Yeah.
And so go on with now your experience would make as we come into month 15.
Month 15, probably 16 now.
Oh, 16
yeah,
now.
More in March,
okay.
Yeah. And what I love about you doing this is you're someone that has used injectable peptides. You've helped people with injectable peptides, and you see the value of like natural peptides is also a solution. And there's going to be people that injectables might work for, given their circumstance. There's going to be people that natural peptides work for. Like for me, so I've never personally used, up to this date, never used an injectable peptide in my life, but I got on all of the peptides. I got like a launch box when I started.
Right.
Started using them all. And I remember I've done meal plans, workouts, and supplements consistently for 15 years. I got on them, didn't change my workouts, and I lost 9 pounds in 14 days.
Nice.
Lean, worked out harder than I ever have. And I had a lingering shoulder injury, and I still have some issues, but it was like bad. I spent over $10,000 in some stem cells, some PRPs, dry needling, physical therapy, like everything you think of.
Did they do the shock thing that
I
really
have my
hurt?
own shocker, dude.
Oh, jeez. How do you
shock myself? My
if
arms like
I
this
did
during
that,
movies.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be like,
So yeah, I did all of that, and my arm, it was so bad, my arm hurt to even hang, so I was wearing a sling. And then it got to the point, like I can throw a mean spiral left-handed because my kids play sports, and I had
You had to
just learn.
adapt.
And so when I started these peptides, I read the research, and my friend's like, dude, 4 times more the fit is 4 times more effective than a whey protein shake than muscle protein synthesis than a whey protein shake. I was like, dude, 4 times better? It was like increase your endurance by X amount. And I'm like, what? That sounds awesome. So I was like, I'm in. I'm gonna use that. So I was like, I'm all in with that. What I didn't expect or I didn't understand about it is it also lowers the inflammatory response in the body. And even though I had done all that work on this, I couldn't hang from a pull-up bar. I couldn't do a shoulder press. I couldn't do a chest press. All of these things, even though I had like healed it, Like, so I didn't have to be in a sling. I could kind of throw a football at least across the small front yard. After like 5 or 6 months of fit, like I had complete mobility in my shoulder again. I could do pull-ups again.
Nice.
And I started seeing progress in the gym. And so that was game changer for me because I thought I was like, I'm just done. I just can't gain weight. I'm just gonna like exercise to keep my endorphins up.
What was the latest shoulder press that you just did? I saw it on Facebook or Instagram.
On each side,
Yeah,
was like
what'd you have on?
108, but it was the machine. It wasn't the free weight, but it was
No, but how much did it weigh?
like 108 or 12.
No,
or
you
something.
couldn't carry your own arm before that. I mean, we're talking about a huge difference here.
Yeah.
That's still progress. That's still improvement. That's phenomenal for a lot of people that can't
And
do that right
doing
now.
that at almost 45 is like, for me,
Yeah.
I didn't ever think that was possible.
Yeah.
So I just feel absolutely incredible. When I started the Restored, I was in the trials for it. They'll be released soon, but they tracked my sleep with this Oura ring for like 8 weeks. And then they put us on the peptide. And I didn't know this because I'm someone that can sleep anywhere. Like I lay on this couch with everybody
Same here.
walking around. I would just fall asleep. I've always been like that. I'm a napper my whole life. But they tracked my sleep and I was in a day only getting, even with my naps, getting 14 to 28 minutes on average of deep sleep a night.
And what are you averaging now?
At least an hour to an hour and a half.
Nice.
Yeah. And my REM sleep was like 38 minutes, I think was the average. And I get an hour 50, hour 45 every day now.
Nice.
So once I started that like 5 or 6 months ago and meeting you and upping my workouts with the Fit Peptide, the Restored, Hydrated, I use Lean. Like I've gone from staying at 170 pounds for like 14 years to 190 pounds. And I
Get 'em.
inclines, yeah.
Let's
And
go.
I'm like, I have no doubt that I'm gonna be 200 pounds running sprints and strong. And I'm like, I never even envisioned myself like that.
Well,
but it was
let's
with
go.
natural peptides and surrounding myself with people that challenged me to work that I was not working at my capabilities. So yeah, it's
The funny
game-changing.
thing is, peptides also elevated the capabilities that I thought or was limited to before them, because healed version of you in the gym is much better than injured version of you in the gym. It just shows up differently. It hurts less. The part that hurts is the work and the good hurt, right?
Oh, I love it.
Not the pinch, not the tweak, not the, ow, I don't want to do this. The, oh my gosh, this feels amazing. It hurts like crazy, but it feels amazing. There's just two different types of pains. So if you're struggling with those kind of tweak pains and you want something to help with that,
Fit. Fit and then Restored in that order for
Restored
me.
for the sleeping. Because look, again, the way your circadian rhythm works, cortisol releases, stress hormones, etc. If you have those managed as well, everything works better. Your recovery works better. Your building works better. All of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it just becomes phenomenal. So tell everybody what they could, I was going to say should do, but you know what? I don't want to should on all over people.
Shit all over people.
Yeah, so what they could do to jump into something like this and why.
Yeah, like I fully believe like every 4 to 5 American households in the next, it could be 2 years. I'd say like 3 to 5 years. It could be 2 years, 3 years, are going to be using Make Wellness products, first of all. You should use them because you deserve to feel incredibly awesome and have your cells, everything work at the optimal level. So you should be using them. Like it's mind blowing. Like Fit also increases NAD plus levels.
Right.
Like it's just like you feel, when you get on like Fit, you're just like, I feel like a superhuman. Like
It
I
is
feel
literally
so
my
good.
favorite drink
And
ever.
And Alan Jones, that's one of those from the science team. Like his dad died from a disease where his muscle degenerated, and so that's why he's so passionate about Fit and what we're doing. Is he's like, after the age of 30, there's a disease called sarcopenia, but we all of us, our muscle deteriorates at a certain pace.
Oh, wow.
At 30 years old until we die. And so if you're not building muscle, like lifting weights, building muscle, like you're losing it. And Fit's gonna help 4x your muscle protein synthesis. So for your own health and vitality, you should be optimizing with natural peptides. And so that's the first part. Why you should be a part of what we're doing with Make Wellness is like, it's like, we talked about 99% of people probably struggle financially.
Right.
They use an extra $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever that number is. And you have and you're like, maybe you have this dream in your heart, like, oh, maybe I should build a business or run a business or buy a franchise or do any number of these things. And they all take a lot of overhead and a lot of work, and you got to put everything together yourself and pay employees and do this and that. With what we have here, we have all the products already made for you, hundreds of millions of dollars into the research of them.
Right.
They put them together, they box them up, they ship them. If something's wrong with the box, you have a customer service team that does everything, that sends them a refund, gives them a new box, whatever they need.
Yeah, this was the infrastructure I was talking about. It is phenomenal. They have this thing so dialed in that, I mean, look, even if there's any kinds of issues, you pick up the phone, they get it handled ASAP. It's phenomenal. The people behind it, that's probably the real key element of it, because the people behind it are so phenomenal. You feel it in their energy. Yeah. And the best thing about being an authentic person is that you can sense authentic when you walk around. You know it's real when it's really real. And you just feel that connection at a level. And look, it's operating at such a beautiful element where I just want you to experience it, right? Yeah. Like, and we've got the summit coming up. Talk about the dates on that.
September 16th to the 18th.
Yeah.
We're going to be in Dallas. Yeah.
Give it a shot. Like, I mean, again, there's no fees.
Yeah.
You know?
So here's something to think about. Like, many of you might already be entrepreneurs. You might be super successful. You might have never been around successful people. It could be any spectrum from I'm around successful people. I am the successful person. How do I get around successful people? Like, the tickets are like under $250. It's like $230 to go to one of those events. They do them every 6 months. But let's say you're like a super successful person that runs a business. Maybe you do $1 million in revenue, and after all your costs, you bring home $200,000, and you have your freedom of your time. Like, you're super successful in that aspect.
Even that, I know people that have $1 million
okay, you have people that are even more.
No, I'm talking about they have $1 million business a year, and their cost is 1.2.
Yeah, so you might be that person. This is why I'm like, why you should be a part of this.
Sucks.
So let me give you some ideas here. You mentioned, is this one of those, like, people are like network marketing or multi-level marketing? So they gave all the benefits of a network marketing company, right, without the things that people dislike about it. Right. No enrollment fee, no monthly business costs, no required product purchase minimums, no weird personal volume numbers, team volume numbers. You sell $100 worth of product, you get a commission on the $100, like 10 to 40% commission on the dollar amount of the product. So that's something. The other thing is you can earn 10 to 40% commissions. But here's what I want you to think about. When you sell $2,000 in product, let's say you do that in your first month, you earn a $500 guaranteed commission, and you get a $500 gift card. That's what you did. 50%
commission right there. Yeah.
That's $1,000 you can earn in your first month doing that. Mm-hmm. We have the systems in place to teach you exactly how to do that if you're willing to do the work. But here's the thing. When you do that, you get a mastermind, a private mastermind with the founder of the company. And the founder of the company, this company did $100 million in the first 11 months. How often, even as a very successful person or someone who's never been around successful people, have you been able to get on a Zoom and listen to someone pour into you and teach you that built a company that did $100 million in the first 11 months? It's like, you hear that and you're like, how do you get in the room with someone like that? You just sell $2,000 worth of product, you can get there. But talking about the event, the event's like $200. You go there. How hard was it to go shake Justin's hand and have a conversation with him?
So that's the crazy thing. I've only been with you guys for the last 4 months, and he actually came up to us and gave us a huge hug and just really connected. He's not the guy behind the scenes. He's the guy right in the middle of it all.
Yeah. So, like, why should you be a part of it? That's why.
Yeah. It's the people. And it's the product, and it's the impact. The people, the product, the impact.
Yeah, we want to make
on your life and theirs. Yeah.
Want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference in other people's life. What did Justin say at the event? The work that we're going to do here, we're going to build $1 billion company. So if you're out there helping with that, you're going to be compensated for the amount of work that you do in that.
In that aspect.
So you're going to be compensated for that. You're going to be recognized for that. You're going to earn trips. Like, we're going to Hawaii. You can come to these trips that you can pay for. You can earn the reward trips. But the work that I want to remind you guys of that we do, the most important work that we're going to do is in the home. Like when you change your life, you change all the pillars that you talk about all the time. Your life changes in the home, and that affects your relationship. That affects how your kids look at the world, and you help develop those kids into the next future generation leaders. And so a lot of people out there are like, I want to change the world. How do I do it? It starts in your home, and that's what we're focused on here with this company.
Nice.
So.
Nice. And so why jump on now? Let me just put it to you in basic numbers, right? Let's just say we end up in 1 out of every 5 homes.
Just to say.
Right? Like, or think of it this way. There's 330 million people in the US right now. We're about to expand to Canada, which has 41 million people. Let's just say we take on a 20% market share of 370 million, right? How much is that? 64 million people, okay? In our first 15 months, we have 125,000 subscribers. Let's just say cap is at 64 million. Wow. Jump on now. We are at month 15. Think of it this way. There's so many multi-level direct sales marketing companies out there that even at year 6, 7, 8, 9, you're still on the biggest upside. Mm-hmm. Right now, you have the opportunity to jump in at year 2 and really make a difference for your life, the people that you impact, their lives, the people that get the health and wellness, and the people that they impact. The butterfly effect is phenomenal for everyone involved. And this is a legacy that you could leave behind for your kids' kids. That's how it works. So jump on, make sure to reach out to Scottie Hobbs, Bernard Kisumbing, and ask as many questions. We'd love to answer them.